Hey, how's it going, guys? This is El Movie Master. It's been a very, very long time. It's been about a year.
Don't forget 1, 2, 3. El movie, El movie master. 1, 2, 3. Or is
Yeah.
that not part of the YouTube anymore?
No, it's not. The thing is that back then, I guess some other asshole had the name of El Movie Master.
Yeah,
So I had to put.
there could only be one.
Yeah. No, there was El Movie Master 1, and one
Then
was 2.
and then no, but it's funny because there was a movie master 1. Then there was a movie master 111.
Yeah.
Then there was a movie master 121.
Yeah.
Then there was a movie master 112. There was all the combinations, and then finally got to a movie master 1, 2, 3.
No, now you can, it's just as El Movie Master. But for a while, I went under that alias.
Yeah.
El Movie Master 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, today we're talking about a little micro budget film.
Micro budget. Clerks?
Oh shit, they're making another Clerks?
No, the first one did it come out? Ever? No. Yeah.
No, we're talking about Star Wars, the holiday special.
That is by far my favorite Star Wars.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like
You can talk as much shit you want about the Last Jedi, but
Like-
don't talk shit about holiday special.
if you grab the list of how much I like them and you flip it upside down, Holiday Special is number 1.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure, always.
Yeah, I love them. No, but
It's here.
it's-
It's here.
no, but seriously, we're talking about Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which has been out for I think a couple of weeks now,
A week or two,
week or two.
maybe.
And-
I don't know. I don't know. I forgot how to count.
Oh yeah.
in this one,
On what episode are we on?
in this 1 year that I haven't done any videos or been in any part of production, like here I'm with you after 1 year. And,
Yeah.
You know.
You look the same, and I look like 20 years older.
Well, ever since I'd known you, 20 years ago, you always look like a substitute teacher. So
Yeah, I get that all the time.
yeah. So,
I can't escape that. As much as I want, I can't escape that. But what did you think of Star Wars: The Last Jedi? You've seen it how many times already?
twice.
Seen it twice.
Yeah, you've seen it twice too, or
No, I've seen it once.
Once.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few that have the very unpopular opinion that I like it. I like it a lot. Like, I know it has problems for sure, but I like it more than The Force Awakens. I'll say that. Like, it still doesn't. It doesn't compare to the original trilogy. Period. No Star
I
Wars.
don't think any Star Wars movies.
No
ever
Star
gonna
Wars movie will ever compare to the original trilogy.
And that's the problem with fans. Fans want these movies to be somewhere as special as the childhood movies that you grew up with. They're never gonna be.
Never.
Nothing.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible because all the years we've had just watching the same movies, and the prequels didn't compare to it, and these new ones won't.
They won't.
Like, I think currently they're making better movies than they did for the prequels.
Yeah.
But they're still not gonna be.
But it's curious if you find kids who grew up watching the prequels, they legitimately like it.
Yeah.
And they grew up with those movies, and then you talk to people who grew up with the original trilogy, and they'll be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, the prequels are terrible."
Yeah.
I mean, there's always those type of movies that you grew up with, that you hold dear, and no matter what anybody tells you, you're gonna love them.
Yeah. Yeah. Star Wars is one of those.
Yeah.
And I even find that a lot of things that people complain with The Last Jedi, they did the same shit in the original trilogies.
Yeah.
But
Which we're gonna be talking about in this review.
yeah.
Which jumps to I don't know if you remember. You were in the theater with me when we saw Last Jedi the first time.
Yeah, you were pissed.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I said once the credits rolled?
I'm fucking pissed. That's
No,
the
no.
first thing you told me. I think it was like, I'm mad. I
No,
hated it. I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah, and I said I feel insulted.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
I
Yeah.
feel insulted.
Yeah.
No, when I walked out, mind you, I was sitting next to a guy who I think hadn't been in the movie theater since 1977. This is the first Star
It's
Wars.
possible.
Because he was laughing at every single joke, and I literally did not laugh at one joke in this movie. I wanted to laugh, but I have, me, I laugh at almost anything. I laugh at fart jokes and all that stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
But this guy was like, "Oh my god, it's a great one."
I do almost feel like, cause we drove together to the theaters, and I feel like you were expecting to hate it. Like you were walking there. You were walking there mad already. Like we were going to the theaters and he was already pissed off before he even saw anything of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was Googling shit or doing what, but
No.
his mindset was already I'm gonna not like this movie and I'm gonna be upset. So, of course, once the movie ended, I knew it before I even turned around because we sat separately. I knew it that you were gonna hate it, and that was already my second time viewing the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hadn't watched any of the trailers. I had seen like headlines on Facebook that are saying like The Last Jedi is a big disappointment or whatever, but I didn't read anything. Like, I just saw it. I was like, oh, okay. And usually, typically, I don't like reading reviews or watching any of that because it clouds my judgment. It tends to like affect how I'm going to view the movie.
Yeah.
So, but I walked into this movie the same way I walked in with The Force Awakens. Well, I was actually more excited when I saw The Force Awakens. I think everyone was.
Yeah, because of The Force Awakens was the first movie in many many years that
since like 2005
that we got to see Star Wars again, and
10 years.
And on top of that, this again might be unpopular opinion, but to me, The Force Awakens is nothing but fan service.
It is. It is.
So it's an okay movie on its own, but they make sure that every 10 to 12 minutes they show you someone you remember and someone you love, and it's like, oh, Leia, oh, fucking now Han Solo is hugging this, like, the movie just goes from those points, like from one to another, and it just keeps doing that.
I remember when the movie came out, like, I saw it with a group of friends, and all of us were like, most of us were like, oh, this is a great movie, we like it, whatever, And there was just one friend who was like, yeah, I don't like this. She didn't go into details, but she was like, yeah, I don't like this. This is not working for me. And surely, like, as months passed by, the opinion changed. People went from liking this movie to like hating it, saying, oh, it's a retread of A New Hope. It's the same thing as the original trilogy. And this is my opinion on that movie. Like, I don't hate The Force Awakens. I think it's a pretty decent movie. It's entertaining. I've seen it several times. Does it compare to the original trilogy? No. I think what Disney was doing at the time was, okay, there hasn't been a Star Wars movie in a long time. We can't just start picking up from where Return of the Jedi ended. That was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
We literally have to do something to reintroduce these characters to a new set of fans, but at the same time keeping the old fans liking it.
Because, like, you see it even more now when the Last Jedi came out. It's, okay, excuse me. What they did with that movie is they brought in all the new fans, and they did it close enough to A New Hope to keep the old fans in. Because we saw with the Last Jedi that if you do anything new, people fucking hate it.
Yeah,
if you do something different with those characters, people hate it. So when I first saw that movie with my friend John, and when I walked out, the first thing he said was, "That was a very safe movie."
Which one, Force Awakens?
Yeah. He walked out and he said, "This is a very safe movie."
Yeah.
Like he told me that he noticed that pretty much they played it safe. They didn't step out of the lines.
No.
They just colored in the fucking drawing. It was just a coloring book.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
But notice that people weren't upset. Like, people started being upset. Like, this is what I tend to notice. Not with like a lot of Star Wars fans, but with people in general. They'll grab an unpopular opinion. Keep spreading, and then they're like, this guy has some sense, and I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon and agree with him just to sound smart.
That
sometimes is the case.
Some people are. I'm not gonna say
all people,
of them, but some people do that. Yes.
Yeah, like everyone says that. Oh, Force Awakens is a remake of A New Hope. No shit, it's not a secret. When you watch Force Awakens, it's so obvious that it's a remake.
Yeah.
And Disney had to do that. Disney was like, okay, we just purchased this from Lucasfilm. We own this. Let's grab what worked.
Yeah, let's do something that you're used to.
So when Last Jedi was announced, it was like, okay, as long as they don't remake Empire Strikes Back, I think I'm going to be pretty much okay.
They
didn't. However, the problem is, here's the problem. I understand why a lot of fans are upset.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to clear the waters here. I don't like it and I don't hate it. I'm somewhere in the middle. You could say I'm in the gray side, which this movie really didn't touch on.
More like the gay side.
Well, that too. Only on the weekends.
Only on Monday for me.
But no, fuck, now I lost my train of thought.
Last Jedi?
Yeah, Last Jedi. No, I'm on the gray side. Like, I'm literally in the middle. I don't hate it. I don't like it. But this movie, the reason why a lot of people are upset is because whereas The Force Awakens was too similar to A New Hope, this movie is too different.
Yeah.
And I think
it's like you gotta pick and choose though. Like, are you upset because it's too similar, or are you upset because it's too different? Like, you can't fucking whine and be upset at the fact that, oh, they're making the same movie all over again. They giving us the New Hope again, and then be upset as like, they changed everything.
No, here's one thing that, like, I'm going to mention the things that I agree with the fans who are upset and the things that I don't agree. The things that I don't agree. People are saying, like, oh, they ruined my childhood. People have been saying this since the prequels. And now they said, oh, no, George Lucas, we forgive you. You know, we did a great job with the prequels. Get the fuck out of here. A lot of the same people who were complaining about The Last Jedi were complaining about the prequels, like, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So... no, it did not ruin your childhood because those original films still exist and you can still go back and watch them.
Yeah.
You know,
even if you hate this and you hate everything from here
people
on,
were even complaining about the '97 changes and just
don't watch it. Just
don't
watch
it.
your old original movies.
Yeah, even in 1997 when the special editions came out, people were complaining about all the changes.
Oh yeah. When they started adding more digital effects to the original trilogy.
I was one of those people. I was like, oh my god, they changed the movies that I grew up with. Guess what? You can still watch them.
Yeah,
they're even on DVD. They're on Laserdisc or VHS, whatever format you want to watch them. You can still see them. Yes, they're not in the best quality, but you can still watch them.
Yeah, like I have them on VHS, and if I ever feel like watching the original ones, like I just pop it in. Yeah. And if I ever feel like watching the re-edited ones, I have a Blu-ray and a DVD to just pop in and do the same thing.
Exactly.
So.
Now, another complaint that people have is, again, I'm going to mention the things that I don't agree on, the things that I do agree on. The whole thing that people are saying that this is a social warriors justice movie. This is all feminist. Like, I don't think so. Like, at first I was saying like, oh, I don't like that the men are a little like underclass, you know, but not really. You know, on second thought, the thing that I don't like, which I do agree on this complaint, is that Laura Dern's character, General Holdo.
Admiral.
Yeah, the purple
Vice Admiral Holdo.
Yeah, the purple hair lady. Like, I didn't like.
She was hot, dude. I thought she was kind of hot. Like,
you like the milfs, man.
like her face, like was kind of whatever, but she looked kind of hot in that dress, though. I'm just saying, you know.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's right.
Hashtag call me up, General.
All right, so put it here, phone number.
Yeah, phone number.
Text me.
No, but the complaint that people had with that particular scene is that she's and I should mention this even though like it's probably too late. Spoilers if you.
You just put it on the title.
Yeah, well, it's literally on. Yeah, so the people are complaining that she's withholding information from Poe.
Yes.
So a counter argument would be like, well, Poe was demoted. You know, he isn't probably allowed to know that information, but it's information that's actually going to be saving everyone on the ship. No one else knows it other than her.
No, not just her. Everyone around her.
Like,
no. Not everyone below her, but everyone doing the moves with her knows it. Everyone that needs to know knows it.
Right, but notice how it makes matters worse, which he ends up going and doing a whole bunch of stupid shit, which he almost has the upper hand at one point when he's pointing the gun at her and all her little people.
Yeah.
So he almost got away with it and could have made matters worse. Of course,
he did make matters worse.
He did make matters worse, and I get it. He needs to learn a lesson, and the lesson is to like follow your authorities.
If that's like to me, it's as simple as this. If you're a fucking pawn, if you're in the army and you're just motherfucking going in the front lines, there's a lot of things you don't know and you will never know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that
but after he pulled that stupid stunt,
after he pulled that stunt,
he should have been out.
Well, he wasn't gonna do anything. Because he got deranked. Like he really wasn't gonna do anything until they needed him, and Leia told him, "Hey, go do it." And then he didn't get a chance to because it all blew up and whatever. Yeah. But to me, it's like they had this connection with him, and that's why they allowed him to do stuff. And I think that we all know that at the end of the movie, there's about 10 people from the Resistance left, and if there was a lot more people, he would have never ranked up again. But there's 5 people left. Like they need.
Yeah, I get it. They needed someone.
They need him. But to me, with the General Holdo thing, like it makes sense to me.
It makes sense in idea, but in execution, it's done really poor.
But you're like a lot of people say it only because and then he went and fucked everything up. Yeah, but Holdo doesn't know that he's gonna fucking do all this.
Well, she kind of does know.
No, she doesn't.
Then she has to know, like, at least his characteristics of his behavior.
But his characteristics are this. His characteristics are he's in a battlefield.
Yeah.
And he'll disobey orders to push through something.
Yeah.
But not when he's in the ship. How is anyone supposed to know that he sent people out there to do shit for him?
Yeah, I get it. But the thing is, it just doesn't work in its total. Like, when you watch that scene, I'm like, it could have gone another way, I think.
I think it could have, but it wasn't one of the things that bothered me. Like, I didn't mind. Like, yeah, a lot of people say some valid things. Like,
Right.
I wish, like, the whole going into light speed onto the dreadnought or whatever it was, the big
yeah,
ship.
that's another complaint that people have that I don't agree on. One complaint people have is that the whole lightspeed sequence.
That was amazing.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I really liked it, even the first time that I saw it, even though I was like bickering about other things in my head. That scene was really cool, but people are complaining about that scene as well. They're saying,
people are saying that
there's no possible way. Like, are you like a Star Wars scientist or something?
another thing is, like, people are saying that should have been Leia, that instead of Holdo, and I get it, but you gotta remember that the creators of this movie didn't know she was gonna fucking die.
Yeah, they had no clue. Yeah,
they didn't know she was gonna die.
Yeah, like when I saw that sequence where she's on the bridge in the ship, and it blows up, I was like, oh shit, they're actually gonna kill Leia. Like, and then when you see her doing that Superman scene, that's another scene that I'm still not fully on board on. Like, I don't hate it as much as other people do. It's just a little weird seeing her go like.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, it doesn't bother me because we've always known that she has the ability to use the Force.
Yeah.
So, and she's a Skywalker and whatever, but people are really, really upset about the sequence. Yeah. I'm just a little weirded out. It's just a little strange seeing that because we never really seen her use the Force in other films.
My thing is about the scene. They're calling it, like, Mary Poppins, whatever the fuck they're calling it.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, I always wonder, why didn't we get to ever see anything with her? Because she's Force sensitive. Like, we know this.
Yeah.
And
I mean, apparently they talk about it in the expanded universe, which is no longer canon. Yeah, it's part of Legends now.
Yeah, but that's weird because fans pick and choose. Fans want fucking extended universe Luke, who's a badass, in this shit, but they don't care about extended universe Leia that knows how to use the Force. But it's like, it's picking and choosing what they love more. But to me, it's like, I always wanted to see Leia do something, and she did it. And that was cool. Yeah, it looked dumb.
Yeah, it looked dumb.
It looked dumb, but I saw beyond that. Like, it's like, yeah, she's fucking 70 years old, and they're holding her sideways in front of a green screen. It's always gonna look stupid because she's an old fucking person. What do you want to do? If it was a 19-year-old Leia, Carrie Fisher, 19-year-old Carrie Fisher, she would have done in a way that it looked cooler. But she's old as fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to, like, you have to kind of like let that go because it looks stupid. But you gotta see the idea of what she was doing, because between Jedi and The Force Awakens, there was like 30, 40 years.
Yeah. She probably learned things. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why it didn't bother me that much. It didn't bother me that much.
And another reason as to why she got to a high rank that she is now, maybe she learned a lot of shit. Maybe she did a lot of shit.
Yeah, she probably did. Well, there's actually books that explain it. There's one that's still canon, which I don't remember the title of it. Something called General Leia or something, that where it explains a whole bunch of shit,
Yeah.
I haven't read it or anything. That's the thing with what's canon and what isn't canon. After Disney purchased Lucasfilm, there's a whole bunch of shit that's no longer canon. Like,
most of the extended universe is not canon.
Is not, but there's some books that have been written since the purchase. That are.
Yeah.
The thing is that, like, my complaint or my gripe is kind of like, and I think I told you, I sent you a video on this. I sent him a video of Andy in Toy Story 3 when he has to let go of his toys. And spoilers for Toy Story 3 if you haven't seen it. The movie's been out for like 7 years.
No, he hasn't, really?
Yeah, that was like 2010.
Wow, holy fuck.
Yeah, shit, time
flies, dude.
But no, I remember, like, watching Toy Story 3 and seeing that ending made me cry, but when I was watching Star Wars Last Jedi, like, and an afterthought, I was thinking, this is kind of like you moving on from your childhood characters. Like, you have to admit that it's time to move on and try something new.
Yeah.
Because like you even told me, like, these people are old as fuck. What do you expect? They're dying. They're dying in real life.
These people are dying in real life. You want to continue seeing their stories? Like, personally, to me, when I saw The Force Awakens and I saw Harrison Ford run. I saw Han Solo run.
Yeah, that was kind of.
I felt sad. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, Han Solo is back. Like I loved him. I love seeing him again.
Yeah.
But when I saw him run, I got sad, instantly sad, because it fucking made me think of mortality and the fact that fucking Han Solo is gonna fucking die in real life.
Yeah.
So if this guy is old as fuck to the point that he's gonna die in real life within the coming years,
Yeah, exactly.
then you really want to keep all these people
I wasn't-
around in these movies?
Yeah.
Like we can't just continue to CGI everyone for the rest
Yeah, we
of
can't.
like our lifetime just because we.
Unless you're Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, but that was only because it's a prequel movie.
I know.
But it, just to satisfy our needs of seeing these characters for the rest of our lives, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. Like, this is what I would tell, like, Star Wars fans. I'm a Star Wars fan. I love all these movies. I grew up watching them, and just like many fans, I make excuses for the prequels and how certain things played out. And they even with like the Clone Wars series, where they explain like why certain characters act the way they are, you kind of have to do it with The Last Jedi as well, because it's not making excuses. It's just literally letting go. Yeah. You have to try something new. Like, just to if you keep getting stuck with the same stories over and over again, there's no surprise, and there's always going to be the same. It's the same complaint that people have with remakes and reboots and sequels, using the same cliche. You know, I'm glad that they used something that you weren't expecting, because that's how a movies should be. You should take you out of the norm, out of the typical thing that you're always watching.
Yeah, you have to admit that watching The Last Jedi, you never knew where it was going to go.
No
one did.
No one did. Like the
and isn't that what we watch movies for?
Yeah.
We watch movies to be
surprised. Mind you, that I really was upset when I walked out the first time.
Furious. He was fucking
I was furious.
Fucking smoke was coming out of his ears.
Yeah, yeah.
It was terrible.
Like, what was it Fern said? Like, hey, you're kind of quiet there.
Yeah, it's like, you okay, dude?
You're right. You're right. And I was like,
yeah, he was pretty mad.
I was upset, and I even went to Facebook, and I'm gonna put a picture here of the post.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
It's like a really long. I'm fucking done with Star Wars.
It was ridiculous.
I'm not watching another one of these movies ever again.
It's ridiculous.
But then I slept on it.
It's a hothead.
Yeah, I'm literally Poe, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, let me talk about what I liked from the movie. Starting off, the first sequence at the beginning was amazing.
That part where Poe does it.
Just all of it, the bombs dropping, everything was great. Which some people say it's like, how could bombs drop in space when there's zero gravity? And to me, it's like, well,
and I really like that scene with
there's gravity in the ship where the bombs are, and they're being dropped from there.
People were complaining about that.
Yeah, and they're being dropped from the bomb. From the ship. So there's gravity in the ship. So then, if you keep pushing something, it keeps moving.
People are literally making complaints about a film about wizards in space, where lasers make sounds, where we already know that
pew pew
pew pew, where that wouldn't happen in real life,
and where soldiers always miss.
Yeah. No, but that scene was really good. I liked the Rose's sister.
I almost wish she was Rose. The whole
yes,
movie.
I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I do. Yeah, she was, but I did not like Rose. I really, she's like, to me, she's like the new Jar Jar. I don't like her.
No. I don't think it's that bad. But yeah, let me continue a little bit on what I like. The opening was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. That was good. Yeah.
And I also like the fact that this was the first time that I can remember that in these movies they jump, like, instead of having a time gap.
Yeah.
It just continues right after.
Yeah, this is the first time where we actually have the story picking up right where Force Awakens left off.
Like, literally, these are movies that you could watch, like, all in one day. Like, I really liked it. Like, it's just great. It just
only thing I didn't like was when Poe is doing that stupid joke, like, oh, I'm holding for Hux.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, some of this comedy, like, needs to be there. To me, none of it was laugh out loud funny, but it was just, like, it didn't annoy me. Like, it was there, and I was just like, okay, I get it.
What annoyed me was just that guy who was sitting next to me. He was laughing at everything.
Yeah.
Like, I have low standards in humor, but this guy was laughing at every single joke.
Yeah. And
Disney must love him, because he was like...
Yeah, and moving from that, like, I kind of like the way they did it, where when you first see Finn, the first thing he asks is, where's Rey? And then you instantly cut to Rey. Mm-hmm. Like, I like that. Yeah. Like, it was cool. And then another thing I like about this movie, like, and again, unpopular opinion, but I think everything they did with Luke, I really, really enjoyed.
that's where I disagree here. Like, there's things that I did like and things I didn't like. The first thing I didn't like was being handed the lightsaber by Rey, and he just throws it
Yeah,
over the
but
cliff.
let me tell you something about that. Luke himself answers that. The Jedi, the Force
Yeah,
does not
no.
belong to the Jedi. Like,
No, I get.
you need to understand that all of that is vanity. Like,
No. My problem is not so much that. The problem is that when you watch Force Awakens, when you watch the ending of Force Awakens again, and look at Luke's face as he's looking at that lightsaber.
Yeah.
He's crying. He's like emotional about it, and he's holding it. So Ryan Johnson literally like changed that whole scene around. So it's like it's kind of like retconning the ending of Force Awakens for me.
No, it's not. You don't know what he did after that moment where he looked at it and
It literally picks up right when she's handing over.
Yeah, but it could. Let's say he looked at it and then he threw it.
But it was like a millisecond. Like, he didn't even
Exactly, but you gotta understand, in movies, a lot of the times they show you something, and then 10 minutes later they show you something else, but it happens at the same time.
Yeah.
So you have to just
know.
like, that's really like, just because he looked at it a certain way, and then in the other one you see a shot from further away that you don't really know how he looked at it, and he tosses it over his shoulder. Like, to me, it's not something to complain.
Yeah, to me, like, that scene, it didn't. The way you're explaining it, it's like this scene is to show that he doesn't care about the whole Jedi thing. To me, it just felt like a cheap joke. It just didn't land.
To me, it wasn't funny. Like,
but people were laughing. People were having a blast with that scene.
People are laughing, but people go to movies to enjoy themselves, so they're gonna find ways to laugh at everything. But I didn't see that at all. Like, the moment he threw it, I never thought, okay, this is a joke. I thought of, like, what the fuck's going on with Luke? That's what went through my head.
Yeah, same
it's
here.
Like,
but people were like, "Oh my god, it's a great
Yeah, but you can't fucking say people, because at the end of the day, you enjoy the movie for yourself. And if people laughed, that's them. Because I went to watch Split, and people laughed at everything in Split, and there's not a single joke in the whole fucking movie.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's not that. Like, just because people laughed in a movie theater does not mean that scene specifically was a joke.
Right, but it was designed, like, when you look at it, it was designed as a joke. At least to me, it looks like that way.
I didn't think it was a joke.
No, well.
And
to me, it wasn't. To me, it was like, what the fuck is he doing? Because the way I saw that scene was like, this is his father's lightsaber, and he just throws it away. But a friend of ours who did also a review for The Last Jedi, he did say a good point. That Jedi aren't materialistic. They're,
yeah, it's over. Like,
yeah,
Yoda explains that, and Luke explains that.
I think it's just, again, this goes back to just how the scene was done. In my opinion, could have been done in a different way.
Maybe, but like, the idea is what at least came across to me.
I did like the scene that follows where Rey wants to get in, and it's like, leave me alone, whatever, and then Chewie breaks the door. At first you think it's like Rey doing that. It's like, oh fuck, here's another power that she has that's not unexplained. But then you see it's Chewie, and the first thing he asks is like, where's Han? And you see it with like great emotion. That scene was really good.
And that is another thing I like, because when he said, where's Han, you cut the Kylo.
Right, who was a person? Yeah,
and I love that. That
was a good scene. Yeah.
So, to me, a lot of people complain with this is a spoiler. Everybody knows this, but like at the end of the movie, Luke sacrifices himself, right, by projecting his. A lot of people hate that, and to me, it's like, people say, why the fuck didn't Luke travel to get there?
Yeah, I made that complaint.
And to me, it's like, if Luke traveled there, and Luke fought off the army, like he said, what do you want me to go and fight the army with a laser sword? Like, if he went there and did that, and he died there, like everyone wants it. He should have just appeared and died, okay? If he appears there and gets killed by Kylo, we give Kylo another fucking kill? And then on top of that, to me, projecting himself across the fucking universe, across the galaxy, is far more powerful than him showing up and getting killed.
Well, I think people... I mean, I wasn't surprised to see that he died, or that he became one with the Force. But I think people weren't expecting that. People wanted him to live on. They literally wanted him to be doing flips and shit. And here's the thing.
Like, I told you the same. Like, he's old as fuck.
He's old as fuck.
Yeah.
And I even was one of those people that was hoping to have a really cool lightsaber duel with Luke. But if you really pay attention to the original trilogy, and I know people are going to be putting some hateful comments down, and it's fine. It's an opinion. This is not objective. This is subjective.
Yeah.
It's not fact. But personally, when you look at Luke's history, he's not really a Jedi.
Like,
He's not.
To me, he only really becomes a Jedi in Part 3 of the original
trilogy. Because look, when you look at the prequels, as bad as they are, they do have one thing right. When you look at the lightsaber duels, they fight like Jedi Knights, Jedi Masters, because they were trained their whole life since they were little to be Jedis. So when you look at the original trilogy, sure, you can say from technical reasons they're old fucking movies, so they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and fucking the guy who plays Obi-Wan.
He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, Alec Guinness.
He's supposed to be 57, but he looks like he's 78.
Yeah, well, I guess in the...
Woof.
Well, it was a long time...
People age pretty weird in space.
Well, remember, it was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Right. Yeah,
we didn't have Botox.
We don't even know if he's human.
No, exactly.
He's just old.
Even though they speak English. Well,
he's old race.
They speak English.
Yeah, everybody.
They speak... It's called Basic.
Yeah.
It's the language.
Of course. It's movie language.
It's movie language, yeah. So... When you look at Obi-Wan fighting Darth Vader, Obi-Wan's old as fuck, and Darth Vader is more machine than man. And Luke, when he fights like an amateur. He's just a whiny kid throughout most of the movie, like saying, "Oh, I don't want to be in a farm, I want to be a pilot,
Yeah.
And then he trained.
Luke is a good pilot.
He's a good pilot, yeah.
But he's not an amazing. But like he's not a great fighter.
He's not.
Yeah.
He literally trains with Yoda for a couple of weeks in the Dagobah system.
Yeah.
And then he goes off and
2
defeats.
weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2
weeks.
2 weeks. Great. And people complain about, Rey fucking trained to fight all her fucking life.
Yeah.
This fucking guy was drinking blue milk with his fucking uncles.
Yeah, that scene I still...
He was drinking blue milk with his fucking uncles, and then he just, like, learned to fight in 2 weeks with Yoda.
That scene was another... We'll get back to that one later, but that scene with the blue milk, the milk of the cow, that was another joke that I was like, it's fucking stupid.
Well, see... That's the thing. You're seeing things as a joke. I didn't see it as a joke. Like,
the purpose of that scene is to say, look, this is an old man.
No, the purpose of that scene is to be like, look, Rey, I don't want to train you. This is my fucking life now, and I'm okay with it.
Right, yeah.
I don't care about you, and you want to be a Jedi, and all this fucking garbage.
Yeah.
This is my life, and I'm totally cool with it. I'm drinking fucking milk from this motherfucker's tit.
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
Yeah.
But
that look like balls.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Fat and
and all of his beard.
No, but like what it showed, I liked what it showed.
Yeah.
Beyond whatever joke it was there.
The best comparison I can give for the whole sequence with Rey to an extent. Have you ever seen The Mask of Zorro?
Which one? The Antonio Banderas one?
Yeah.
I've seen it years ago. Yeah.
Well. That movie's not that great. It's all right.
Yeah.
But there's a sequence early in the film where it's literally the opening scene of that movie, and I'll mention it really quickly. The kid who eventually becomes Antonio Banderas, he sees Zorro. He sees this great heroic guy. He's swashbuckling or whatever, and then he disappears and gets arrested and whatnot. No one knows that he got arrested and whatever. And then Antonio Banderas grows up to be this just bandito who drinks a lot, and then he sees an old man who's just drinking and shit. As like he's meeting his hero, and
that's who he is.
He's a big disappointment to him, and he wants to be trained by Zorro. And at first, he's like doesn't want to train anybody, but then eventually he does. But it's a completely different moral to that story. But it's kind of like don't meet your heroes.
To me, it's like you need to have a conflict because if she shows up there and looks like yes, I'm going to train you, and then we're going to go and we're going to defeat everybody.
It's going to be boring as fuck. You see that. Even Mark Hamill said this himself. He said, if we see someone because he himself is not completely fully on board on the whole change that they made to Luke, because him, just like fans, are very protective of how the character is supposed to play out.
He's lived with this character, and he's an actor, so he's lived with this character in his head for over 30 years.
Right, so he has in his head how the character would behave, how he would do certain things, and I understand, but he also says that I get what Rian Johnson's doing, and once I saw it on screen, I got it. I got what he wants to do. Because he himself said, quote, that if we do the whole same thing of training another Jedi, it's going to be boring.
Yeah.
It's going to be predictable. So that part I was not upset at. I mean, what I didn't like was that it was just 3 little shitty lessons that you can, like...
he didn't want to teach... Like,
he didn't want to teach her, I get it.
He didn't even give her 3 lessons. He said, I'm going to give you 3 lessons, but he gave her the 1, and she went full dark, and he was like, fuck you. I'm giving you shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's afraid. He's super afraid of what he already made with Kylo.
There's one thing that people are upset about that at first... I was mad when I walked out of the theater, but then on retrospect, I'm like, wait, this makes sense. And it's a scene where he's about to kill Ben, but then he stops. And people are like, oh my god, Luke would never do that. Mind you, when you watch Return of the Jedi, when he's fighting his father, there's a scene where he's literally going berserk on Darth Vader, and he breaks his arm, and he was almost about to kill him, but then he stops himself. Luke has been struggling with the dark side before.
Always.
So, what makes you think he wouldn't struggle now with someone who's showing...
And even Yoda said that failure is a teacher. So everybody fails. Like
everybody
Jedis,
fails.
everyone fails.
And I like the fact that they're moving away from the whole idea of the Skywalkers and the Obi-Wan family being the people who have the Force only.
Yeah. The going back to like the Luke training and not wanting to train, and because he created Kylo Ren. He created this trilogy's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
People complain about that. It's like, oh, he wouldn't ever turn his back on someone when he fucking fought so hard to bring Vader back to the light. And it's
I had that complaint too.
And it's like, well, why the fuck was Ben Kenobi hiding?
Right, yeah.
Why the fuck was Yoda hiding?
Yeah.
Fucking Jedis do this shit all the fucking time.
Yeah, they do.
It's ridiculous to hold someone to a higher expectation than everything the fucking franchise has given you before. Like, Luke is all of a sudden this amazing fucking person that has zero fucking flaws, when even Yoda has flaws.
Yeah, people are complaining about Porgs also. Like, they're saying it's like a big like merchandise scheme. Like, they're putting all these characters there just because they can sell products. I don't believe in that.
Dude, I don't think that's at all like.
Yeah, I don't know what people are talking about.
What they're doing with the Porgs.
They're just cute characters.
Okay, talking for real about the Porgs.
No, but the Porgs. Like,
I think they're unnecessary. They're like
they're there to make Chewie become vegan.
Yeah, they become a hipster vegan.
Yeah.
But like when the Porgs get on the ship and you keep cutting to the Porgs, like it's unnecessary, it's useless, and it's not funny.
Yeah.
I get it, but at least they have nothing to do with the plot, so I'm happy about that. But I heard from a friend who knows someone that works at Lucasfilms. I know it's a lot of no one that knows someone that knows someone that knows nobody type of thing.
Yeah.
And he said that the island where they filmed that, it's actually like in
Ireland, I think it is.
Yeah, but it's an actual like a bird sanctuary, and there's actually a lot of birds throughout the island that they can't just like take away. So what they do is that they just CGI Porgs on top of it. Oh. And some Porgs were actually created and just placed around, but a lot of them were to cover the actual birds that were there.
Did not know that.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah, I really did not know that. I didn't mind the Porgs. At least they weren't like Ewoks, because Ewoks were literally part of the whole story in Return of the Jedi, or at least like a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
And even like, I guess because again I grew up with these movies, I wasn't offended by Ewoks when I was a kid. Of course, it's just when people have mentioned it over and over again, you're like, yeah, you're right. You know, Ewoks, fuck them. I mean, the only thing that of characters that really, really annoy me is definitely Jar Jar. Jar Jar, I can't fucking stand him. Every single time I see him is like me, say you humble servant.
Let me continue.
You do terrible things to me.
Yeah, but Jar Jar is a whole different story.
It's a different story, but
I gotta tell you, every character in this movie is way better than Jar Jar's ever been.
Well, I still think Rose is the new Jar Jar. Like, there's one scene, I'll tell you this much, which is what I was going to mention, now I remembered. Going all the way towards the end of the movie, there's a part where Finn is finally going to do something heroic, because throughout most of the film, especially Force Awakens, he's been the kind of guy who runs away from situations. He kind of half commits to things.
Yes.
So...
His arc is that at the end of this movie, he's not that anymore.
No.
He's actually doing things for a reason.
For a
he's
reason.
Part of the rebellion, and he accepts it.
Right, and that's a good arc.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that the only people who really have an arc is pretty much just Finn and Kylo. Poe as well, but Rey is pretty much still the same character that we saw in Force Awakens.
I think Luke has an arc. I think Luke, he has a great arc. He's fucking... Fuck you, Force. I don't want anything to do with the Jedi. The Jedi should all die. Which, I don't know why people found that as a surprise.
What?
That he felt that way when he fucking says it in the trailer.
Yeah, it's time for the Jedi
to end. And then, so he has an arc because of Yoda.
Right.
He comes back and he does something to help the Resistance. And to me, that's an arc. He went from fuck you, Force to being at most with the
Read
Force.
the books you have.
He became one with the Force, and to
Page
me,
turners, they're not.
to me that is a great arc, and to me that gave me a send off to Luke that I really loved. When I saw Han Solo die in The Force Awakens, it was bad because he died when he was a smuggler again. He died when his son was fucking bad. He died when he was away from Leia.
That's one thing that not to like switch subjects on Last Jedi, which we've been kind of doing, but when Han died, he died as a smuggler. He
died. He died as a smuggler. He was separated from Leia.
Yeah.
His Kylo, his son Ben Solo had become. He's gone away with Snoke, and he's trying to join the fucking dark side, and he died at the bottom.
Yeah, I did.
He died at the bottom, and Luke died on top.
Yeah.
Luke was on.
I did like the scene where he's like looking at the two suns, just as he did in Tatooine in A New Hope. That scene was really good.
Yeah, because he saw the sun in Tatooine when he was going into a new world. He was going into a new adventure.
Right.
And now he saw it again when he's going into a new world. He's becoming a Force ghost. He's going there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because you see the two suns at the beginning of his journey, and you see it at the end.
Right. Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It's a good closure to his character.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The only thing complaint, which is not really justified, which even I had it when I saw Last Jedi, was that it'd be cool to see him fight, and all this cool shit. But for this version of Luke, it makes sense for him to be the way he is. Like he's disappointed by the whole aspect of the Jedi. Like it's very dogmatic. It's very like rudimentary, and it's time for other people to come in and experiment and do other things with it. It's like I'm pretty sure if people saw this movie years ago at home watching all the movies back to back to back, they'd be okay with it, because people had complaints about Empire Strikes Back when it first came out. Yeah. And that's because it was a new thing. They were expecting probably more of the same, like A New Hope, and it was like very dark. The bad guys are on top. The heroes aren't really, triumphing here. So it's different. And whenever a movie gets you to talk and ask questions, it's doing something right.
It's a good movie.
It's doing something right.
It means
it's called good writing.
Yeah.
But I was kind of hoping that Finn would sacrifice himself instead of like freaking Rose just literally crashing into him and saying this really cheesy line about love.
I like that line.
That's so corny. That I won't agree.
Because to me, that line even makes sense with anything in life. For example, like when Trump became president, people were so against it. People were out there like rioting.
Are you telling people are not against it now?
No, but I'm saying like people were out there rioting, and to me, it's like that doesn't make sense. Like if you fight hate with hate,
yeah, it makes matters worse.
It makes it worse.
It's just that line is so fucking corny though.
This is what he meant. Like it meant we're not here to fight what we hate. We're just here to protect the people we love, and therefore be victorious, like win, because we're protecting everyone we love. And yeah, it could be a cheesy line, especially because she said it and there was a kiss afterwards. Yeah. But I think that line means something.
Yeah.
So I didn't hate that. Like
yeah, that's one thing I didn't.
And I think the whole kamikaze thing that she did, like I think it's in her blood.
Yeah. That to me that was fucking stupid.
No, but everything with Luke I really liked. I like the fact that we saw Leia use the Force.
Yeah.
It might be.
I wasn't bothered. I mean, at first, like I was weirded out.
It looks silly.
It looks really silly.
But I like it. I like the fact that she's doing something.
The thing, what bothered me a lot was more the fact that damn, she's no longer here with us. She passed away. So I wonder what they're gonna do with Episode 9. Are they gonna mention in the crawl, or are they gonna have her be doing something in another planet?
Our friend ODG had a point, which makes sense, that the movie would start at her funeral.
Maybe.
So it could be, but I think by far my favorite thing of this movie is what they're.
Oh, we have a little guest.
Bella, out.
Out, Bella.
Out. Go close the door.
Yeah.
I forgot. Can you pass me that? You still got water in there?
Yeah, I believe so. What are you saying?
My favorite thing from this movie is I really, really love what they're doing with Kylo.
Yeah, Kylo is great. Like he's literally an untamable, like just pure evil.
Yeah, because he came from The Force Awakens, when he was whiny,
Yeah.
he was a little annoying, and he would just act on emotions.
Yeah.
And now we know that he's not whiny anymore, but we know that that's what Kylo is. Kylo is fucking raw emotions, and it makes so much sense for him to get rid of the helmet because he is the most emotional fucking villain we've ever had.
Yeah, whenever I see him, like, I think to myself, this is what Anakin could have been in the prequels.
He's a better Anakin.
He's a better Anakin.
And the way that they show him, kill Snoke, and they show that Kylo is not for the dark side and not for the light side, not for the Sith, not for the Jedi. He just fucking is Kylo, and he wants to rule, and he wants to be the best because you motherfuckers did me wrong. And it's not about what you know, and it's not about anything. It's about me being me for me.
And notice who ends up being the bad guy. A Skywalker solo character.
Yeah.
And the hero is
a nobody.
Which at first I was, and I'm still kind of like grinding gears here, because I, in a sense, want to know who is Rey, because it was established in Force Awakens that her parents went off, and now they're nobody. But you did say that maybe he is lying to her.
Dude, if she's a nobody, totally cool with it. I'm tired of this shit being a fucking lineage and. Because then what? Are we just going to get movies of the same fucking family for the rest of our lives? No.
It's a huge galaxy. There should be other characters involved. Yeah.
Exactly. And I like that. But I think the way Kylo said it at the moment he said it and how he said it.
Yeah, I think it's manipulation.
That it's a lie. Yeah, because he wants the second strongest person in the galaxy to be with him. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you anything I need to tell you for you to be with me.
Right.
You're a nobody. You have no say in this fucking story. The story is not about you. So the only hope you have to do anything, to be someone, is to be with the only person that understands you.
Now, the scene where they're fighting these knights, which they're not the Knights of Ren.
That was badass.
That was really cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And again, it shows you these are not full Jedi. Because if it were real Jedi, they would beat the shit out of those characters. But
they were struggling. There was a struggle.
There was a struggle because they're amateurs.
Yeah.
Even Kylo, they're strong with the Force, but they're not full Jedis.
Yeah.
However, the scene that precedes it, still bothers me a little bit, and it's because of this. When we see Snoke saying, "Oh, I can feel what he's doing even now as he's moving the lightsaber," and he's mimicking like his movement with his lightsaber, and he's moving the lightsaber that's next to Snoke.
He's moving both at the same time.
Right. So it still kind of bothers me because they're supposed to be this really big baddie. He's supposed to be like the big character, the big bad guy who brought Ben to the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
So. And seeing him get killed second in the film, it was like, okay, and how can he not feel that lightsaber?
Because he's focusing on the other thing.
Right. So let's use that excuse to help better that scene. But what I don't like is that in Force Awakens, he's established as this big character.
Yes.
And then here, he gets dismissed. And there's even things that are like retroactive. Like you'll have... You'll have Kylo talking to Snoke in Force Awakens with the mask, and then you see him again in this one saying, "Take that fucking silly thing off your face." Well, he doesn't say fucking, but he's taking a silly mask off your face. It's kind of like saying, like, forget everything that you knew about the Force Awakens. We're changing the rules.
It's because you see the difference. Like in the Force Awakens, he's not fucking pissed at Kylo.
Right,
because in the Force,
he did. Yeah, I'll take that because he did. He says, "You were beaten by a girl."
Yeah, in the Force Awakens,
which people had a complaint about that. Like I had no problem with that.
Yeah, like in the Force Awakens, he still like believes in Kylo a lot.
Yeah.
But in this movie,
he doesn't.
He fucking thinks Kylo is a fuck up, and he believes that he could use Kylo to get what he wants, to get Rey there, which is what he does.
Right.
But he doesn't believe in Kylo anymore.
Yeah.
He's fucking mad at Kylo, and he's fucking pissed at Kylo, and that's one more reason as to why Kylo never planned out to kill Snoke. But when the chance proceeded, when he put that lightsaber next to him,
and mind
he used it.
What is the final part of the training for most Siths? They kill their masters.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, people say, "Oh, why the fuck introduce Snoke if we're never gonna know who he is?" Well, if you watch the fucking original trilogy, the Emperor is a nobody. They tell you he's the strongest fucking most evil Sith in the fucking world, and then
they made it prequels which explained who
Yeah,
he was,
but they didn't in that movie.
They did in that movie.
And what happens after that? Darth Vader throws him down an elevator shaft.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Yeah.
Do fucking fans that are so upset at certain things, do they remember the past? Do they remember movies we've seen over and over and over again?
Yeah, I think the problem is, which I even told you this after watching the movie, is that when you were a kid, you didn't have to wait 2-3 years for Return of the Jedi. You didn't have to wait so many years. So you literally pop in the next VHS and you watch all 3 of them. And you create this whole imagination in your head as to how things are going to play out. Yeah. That's the worst thing you can do. Disney never told you to create expectations. Like, whenever I would see videos on YouTube saying, "Oh, I wonder who Snoke is," clickbait video. Yeah. Find out the 10 things you don't know about Snoke. Who are Rey's parents? Is Obi-Wan her father? Who knows? Like, and all those videos are like, I never click on them because that's like stupid. Like, that's just
it's all fan theories.
It's fan theories.
The more and more fan theories you have, you fucking hang on to the ones you love, and you hang on to this, and you hang on to that.
Yeah,
it's okay to speculate, but to the point of being obsessed with something, and then when that doesn't become a reality, all of a sudden it sucks because it's something else.
No, I think this is. It's a good movie that has problems. I don't think it's a terrible movie because people are saying this is the worst movie since the prequels. Really? No.
Yeah, to me this is better than the prequels.
Like whenever I see Attack of the Clones and I see that scene, I don't like sand. It's rough, it's coarse, and it gets everywhere. You're telling me it's worse than that? No, get the fuck out of here.
It's not. To me, this is better than The Force Awakens. This is better than the prequels.
Yeah.
And another thing, what were we just talking about just now?
But we're talking about the whole scene with I forgot.
Okay, the Kylo killing Snoke.
Snoke.
So I remember. Okay, so my roommate actually brought up this point is that I forget where he read or he saw, like, he watches Rebels, he watches everything that's like it's still.
I have to catch up on those shows.
In the current extended universe.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how the possibility of, because we still have one movie in this trilogy, so they could still explain who Snoke is. Just because he's dead doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
So, because we could, like, we saw flashbacks, and now we could have flashbacks of how fucking Kylo got with him and blah, 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 blah.
They might do that.
Yeah. So, he was saying how Snoke is possibly one of the kids that Anakin killed in Revenge of the Sith. Because one of the kids got slashed in the head in the same exact fucking way where Snoke has it.
Oh. The like, Master Skywalker, what will you do now?
Yeah, he just murdered a bunch of fucking kids. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this is the worst Star Wars movie. It's just because they say that every freaking year. Like, they said it about Rogue One. This is the worst Star Wars movie ever. Force Awakens, this is the worst Star Wars movie ever. Like, I'm not watching another Star Wars movie again. And then they still watch them.
People hate just to hate because to me, like, this movie has balls. This movie did a lot of things that are different, and for that alone, I like it a lot more. Because if we're seeing the same cookie cutter shit forever, why the fuck are we watching this movie? Why are we watching this series? Why do we keep watching this shit? Yeah. You need to do something new and something different. Yeah. And if you watch these movies for them to be like, oh, here's Darth Vader kicking ass. Oh, here's fucking Han Solo. Oh, here's Luke. Oh, here's Leia. Then just watch the original fucking movies because
just stay home.
Because these movies are the story is supposed to move forward, it's supposed to progress, and it's supposed to make keep going forever.
Yeah.
Disney owns it, so it's gonna go on forever.
It's gonna go on forever. Yeah. Like I always tell this to people in regards to any franchise. Don't let a studio dictate when you should continue to keep watching a series.
Yeah.
If you didn't like it, stop watching them.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. Yeah. Watch the original trilogy, and move on. Personally, at first I was going to say, no, I'm not going to watch another Star Wars movie, but you know what? I want to watch how this trilogy is going to end, and I'm curious to see what Rian Johnson's going to do with the other set of 3 films.
Yeah.
So, do I love this movie? No, I don't love it. Do I hate it? No, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm like so about it. There's things that I don't like about it, but there's things that I do like about it.
Yeah.
I do like that the lightsaber duels are still very much like the original trilogy in the sense that they're struggling, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I do like that they're trying new things with the Force.
Yes.
Like, another reviewer mentioned this, and it's a good point. It's kind of like watching Dragon Ball Z. Imagine if they just stayed at Super Saiyan 1.
Yeah.
And they never did anything else. Yeah. That would be really boring.
Yeah.
But they did several other Super Saiyan powers and did other things.
You gotta keep evolving. You
gotta keep it changing.
Go with the flow, yeah. And another thing is like people were okay with Kylo and Rey Skyping each other through the Force, but they wouldn't okay with fucking Luke projecting himself.
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense. And to me, it's like,
Yeah.
Luke did that all by himself.
Yeah.
When...
He's really vain, though.
Yeah.
Just for men.
Yeah, but to get Kylo, Rey, you know, to talk to each other, Snoke used his power, Rey's power, and Kylo's powers to put them together.
Yeah.
Luke did what fucking 3 people's powers did to do half of what he fucking did.
No, but the best part of that scene is seeing those gains.
He's like walking like this.
With the pants all the way up to here.
Dude, he's an old man. Like, you want to see an old man like jumping around and shit. Like, they're literally gonna need a stunt double. They're gonna need a fucking Steven Seagal stunt double on this shit. And if that's what you want to see, then
I actually wouldn't want to see that. Like,
no, it's
yeah,
stupid.
I don't want to see another Yoda thing like flipping around.
I'm personally.
Yeah.
I love these characters. I love Luke. I love Leia. I love Han Solo.
Yeah,
I love Chewie.
That's the thing for me. Like,
I'm okay with seeing them go because I want this story to progress. I want this movie to go on.
Yeah, I want the story to just progress. Here's the thing with the new set of characters, like Poe, Finn, and Rey. I don't mind them. I like them, but I don't love them how I like, Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie.
But you had 50 years to love those characters.
You're calling me a 50-year-old?
No, but I'm saying
no.
you had years to love those characters.
No. But even then, like there's certain characteristics about those characters that you can relate to, and not to say you can't relate to Rey or Finn, but the thing is that it goes back to what you're just saying, which is kind of true. You grew up with these characters.
Yes.
So for me, what hurts me the most. It's not so much the changes that they made in respects to moving forward with the times and changing things. That's fine. It's more about being a whiny little kid, the inner kid in you that wants to hold on to these characters.
The inner Luke in you.
The inner Luke in me.
Because Luke is a whiny little fucking bitch for 3 fucking movies, and everyone wants him to come back and be a badass.
Right. So I guess I'm lukewarm about it.
Yeah.
To move on and say, you know what? It's time for these characters to kind of die because, like I told you before, and you said it yourself, that, hey, these people are dying in real life. Yeah. Might as well kill them off. But
and they really bet on the wrong one.
They bet on the wrong one.
Because they're like, Carrie Fisher, she's doing good. She's been off drugs for years. Like, she's going to do fine. She's here to stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I know.
Yeah.
No, but it's a shame because she was great. She's but keep in mind, like, even when I saw her acting, especially in Force Awakens, she hadn't acted for years, and she was really rusty.
Yeah.
She did really good here. She had a lot of good scenes.
Yeah, but unlike Mark Hamill, he's been a voice actor for years. I think he was amazing in this movie.
He was great. He was really like he sold a part of being this old, geezer in an island. Not wanting to know shit about the Force and closing himself on the Force. The only actress who, I don't know if this is a popular or unpopular opinion, I'm still not too crazy about Daisy Ridley. Like, there's something about how she delivers certain lines where it's always like kind of like smiling.
Oh no, I'm okay with her.
But even J.J. Abrams on the first day of shooting told her, like,
stop smiling.
No, he told her you have some really wooden acting. So I think she's okay.
Now let me talk about the weakest part of this movie for me.
For me, it's definitely the casino scene.
Yeah, to me, the candle bite, I think it's called
candle bite. Yeah, I did not give it because
that alone, like, it's taking you away from the story. And every time they cut to Finn and Rose doing whatever nonsense, every time they cut to that, I wanted to be back with the other story. I wanted them to come back to Kylo. I wanted them to come back to Kylo and Rey.
You told me that you liked the Benicio del Toro character.
I think the way they find him is stupid.
Yeah,
it's too much of a coincidence, and I don't like any of that sequence except for the Benicio del Toro parts, because when Benicio del Toro rescues them and they get on that ship that he stole, and he's talking to them about the prophets of war.
Yeah,
I love that because it makes so much sense because it's like
saying that there's no heroes, there's no.
you're saying like because Finn is like, oh, you know, these fucking people, you know, they make money out of the bad guys,
and then you find out.
Well, they make money out of you too.
Yeah.
So that is a great character, and then at the end, where it's like you sold those out, it's like maybe I did.
Yeah.
Like to me,
Yeah.
you're not good, and you're not good.
Yeah.
None of you fuckers are good to me.
Like, the character and concept was good. I just didn't like the way he portrayed it. He reminded me a little too much of the character from. You probably did you ever see the fourth Indiana Jones movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, the character of Mac, the one who betrays Indy, and then he betrays also, the fuck her name is, like he betrays Indy, and then he betrays also Kate Blanchett's character.
Yes.
It kind of reminded me of that kind of character. Like, I only really care about myself. I just want to make some money here. Whoever's hero or bad guy, I don't care.
But to me, it's like,
and that stuttering thing was kind of like,
if we have what we as the viewers deem the good and the bad, why can't we have neutral people? I think it's totally fine to have neutral people.
I just didn't like his portrayal, and I really like Benicio del Toro because he's done a lot of good.
I think he did great. I didn't fucking mind the stuttering. I fucking hate that they fucking happened to run into him into a fucking cell when they went there to look for a code breaker, and they just happened to find a fucking low budget Brad Pitt in the same fucking cell, and then.
And the whole thing with the animals, like, oh, you know, let's be about all animal rights here and there.
Well, you already saw them with the porgs.
The porgs, yeah.
At the beginning, when Chewie, turns vegan because he doesn't want to eat the porgs that look like really delicious fucking plastic chicken that he's holding.
Yeah.
But you see it again. It's about animal cruelty, and ODG said it best because he said, notice how fucking Rose made sure to release all of the fucking horse, rabbit, human-looking things. But she said, nah, you slave kids, you stay behind. You stay slaves.
Yeah. Great moral there.
Yeah, so...
I get what they wanted to do, but it just felt really forced for me.
To me,
like...
all of, like...
Like, let's let go of one animal, just so the other ones can...
Like, at the end of the day, I like Finn's arc, but the way they got to it... I think is silly because
it's silly.
It's a forced way of like, okay.
I actually wanted him to sacrifice himself. I may be the unpopular person here saying that.
But then there's a lot of people that say, oh, I didn't want Luke to sacrifice himself.
I think it's because, I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of Finn. I think he's an okay...
So you don't care about him dying?
No, I don't care.
Like, okay, he died, great. So it's like it's what I'm saying. It's like he's a brand new character.
Yeah, because
if we're killing off, let's kill off the old.
No, because it works well with his character arc. Because he's pretty much a character throughout most of the story, especially in Force Awakens. So seeing him saying, "Okay, I'm going to sacrifice myself for the greater good."
Yeah,
and then we have fucking. He almost did.
But in his mind was set. He was going to do it.
Yeah,
so
it just felt half-assed.
In a way, him being saved, it is not his fault. He still set his mind to do it.
Yeah. It felt more like we can't kill him because he still has a contract for the next episode.
Another thing that I think is very silly is the fact how, when Vice Admiral Holdo, whatever her name is.
Yeah, Laura Dern's character.
Yeah, the hot MILF in the dress. When she does the light speed through the dreadnought or whatever those things are called, and the ship blew up. Notice how, because Finn and Rose were about to get killed, decapitated.
Yeah.
Notice how everybody died except the main characters.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's stupid and it's a little coincidental. And
it's like the complaints people have, it's more about, like, these characters that they love, that they've grew up with. And, again, this is just fucking wizards.
Yeah, and
in space.
Another thing about the scene that I just mentioned, it's a lot of people say, well, how the fuck did Rey end up in the Millennium Falcon again? It's like, well, they said he took escape pod, and then on top of that, before she leaves Chewie, she says, we'll meet at the rendezvous.
Yeah.
Are people not fucking listening to the movie?
No, they're. But what other things you didn't like? You found weak?
The whole Rose. Like,
yeah,
I don't think she's fucking horrible. I don't think she's Jar Jar material. But I think everything that had to do with Rose and Finn going away, everything in the dreadnought and everything with them in the actual rebel ship,
Yeah.
and everything at the rebel base at the end, I liked. I fucking hated the whole everything from going away to a mission to find a code breaker.
Yeah.
And to the whole adventure out
that
there,
whole
all
scene,
of that was just unnecessary.
Yeah, that whole sequence. When I was looking at it, I was like, "What is this? Is this Casino Royale with like aliens?"
Yeah.
I
Like
didn't
I
like
didn't
it.
mind. I didn't mind the casino. I didn't mind what it looked like. I just thought.
Yeah, I didn't.
just
I
thought.
personally didn't like the way it looked.
I just thought it was unnecessary.
Yeah,
like this is taking us away from the story, like from what we actually want to see.
Yeah.
At least for me, like
Yeah,
get me back to Kylo, get me back to Luke, get me back to all of this shit. But like again, this movie needed to give something to Finn, and this is the best thing they could find.
I think the one thing that could have helped with Luke, even though I get it that he's like given up, that he's just, I would have wanted to see a little bit more of a glimmer of hope from him, especially the person who brought back Vader.
Yoda was a glimmer of hope.
Right. And I love that sequence. I love that scene.
It's great.
And I love that they use Puppet Yoda. And there's a complaint that people are having. They're saying that why is Yoda acting like, funny Yoda? Why is he acting the way he acted when he first met Luke? Well, it's because he's still teaching him. He's still kind of like poking at his patience. Because if you look at Luke, like even when he's about to burn, he kind of like doesn't want to. Mm-hmm. And you just like, uses the Force lightning or whatever.
Yeah,
he just brings lightning in.
Even Yoda tells him like that's always been his flaw, acting on instinct.
Yeah,
and that's what he always did. Like just like you watched the Force, you watched fucking Last Jedi, and you instantly were pissed off. He fucking made his nephew into a fucking monster, and he instantly fucking shut in.
Yeah,
that's what he did.
That's what he did. Yeah,
and that's what fucking Luke's always known to be. He's always acted before thinking.
Exactly.
And he did nothing different now. And I think it's still a part of his character.
Mm-hmm. The other thing, I don't know for you, but I think this was a little too long.
The movie, movie is 2 hours and 35 minutes, and you could take out a lot of the Finn and Rose thing and Candlebite. And
for me, just take out fucking Rose, and everything would be great.
I'm telling you, I just mind the fact that they had to go away somewhere else and deal with a different plot line. That was silly, but if they found a different thing for her and him to do, that's fine.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna get another mask, Kylo?
No, because
it's literally breaking him down. Like it's some of the stuff that they did when he breaks the mask is like it felt a little too ham-fisted. Like we're breaking everything of the old, we're doing the new. So it's like forget the mask, forget wearing all this stuff.
To me, it makes sense for the way the Kylo character is going, because do you really want to see a robot being super emotional? We don't.
No, we don't. No.
There's no point. And then when you see Kylo now without the mask for this whole movie, and you see him see the Millennium Falcon fly in front of him. You feel how fucking angry he is at his father. Yeah. You feel how fucking angry he is that everyone have fucking let him down. And you see those fucking raw emotions, and you understand Kylo.
I don't know about you, but personally, I don't want to see him being brought back to the light. Like, I just want to see him get killed.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't want to make expectations because again, like making expectations is.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna happen because this movie toyed with us with that. Yeah. This movie gave us a lot of little things of like, he's coming back to the light. Yeah. And it was like, fuck, no. There is no light, there is no dark for Kylo. Yeah. There's just Kylo. Mm-hmm. There's no bringing him back.
But because
he didn't go he didn't go to the Sith, he didn't go to the dark, he didn't go anywhere.
But I'm glad that they're stepping away from the whole idea of the Force being part of just a Jedi, which kind of, I don't know if it's still canon. They usually don't mention this, the whole midichlorian thing. Yeah. I'm glad, that it's no longer just stuck to the dogmatic thing of the Jedi. Because Luke says it himself. Like, if you look at the past of the Jedi, it's always been failure. It's always been, doing things their way.
Yoda said it.
No, but there's a part where Luke is sitting down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He tells Rey.
Yeah, he's telling Rey all of it. Yeah, it's true because That's the way you have conflict when it comes from a good guy and a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
If the good guys always succeed, if there's this Superman type, then how could they ever like struggle with anything?
You know, I just realized that this is the first time we see paper in a Star Wars movie.
When you see paper.
The books. They're made of
Oh
paper.
well, yeah. Do they really open them at all? You just see them on the shelf.
Yeah, but it's just the first time you actually see something like written in text.
I feel like you open that and it just fucking falls apart.
Like,
It's
ah.
But you know now Rey's starting the Jedi religion again. Like it ends with hope.
I thought you just stole those books and sell them on eBay.
If they're eBay in a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
So, what are you hoping for the next episode, episode 9, which J.J. Abrams is directing? It's not going to be Rian Johnson.
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know which way they're gonna go. I am hoping to continue to see this Kylo character that I'm really liking. I am hoping that they find a way for Kylo to end. Maybe not by just turning him to the light, but doing something interesting with him. Mm-hmm. And you know, it might just be another fucking Vader thing where he does the right thing at the last moment, but then he just dies. Like it could be that. Like it could be that.
Well, according to JJ, he wants to.
Your homeboy JJ.
JJ.
Yeah, you talk about him. Like
yeah, man. You know,
he called you up. He's like, yo,
yo, El Moviemaster.
Yo, El Moviemaster 1, 2, 3. What's up, homeboy?
See, I knew about you before. You know, when you were 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
No. But according to sources, they are saying that he wants to tie all the trilogies together with this next film.
I think he will. Like, to me, it's kind of dumb to think that they don't already know what the fuck's gonna happen in the next one. It's all planned out. Like,
I don't think so.
Dude, they are not gonna make a trilogy without knowing what the next movie is gonna be.
Well, they've done that before. They've done it with like the Hobbit films. They just kind of went along the way, like, oh,
Disney did it with the Hobbit films.
No, not Disney. That was another studio. But Disney literally did Force Awakens, and they didn't write anything for Last Jedi. Last Jedi was written by Rian Johnson, who wrote and directed that film.
Okay.
That was all his ideas. They weren't.
He co-wrote it.
Right, but again, like he came up with a lot of the stuff that you're seeing in the Last Jedi.
You're not. I'm pretty sure he came up with ideas, but I think certain things where the characters were going, maybe not. Maybe not the twist with Luke. Yeah. Maybe not these things.
Yeah.
That's already. Like there's an outline, dude. There has to be a fucking outline for this trilogy. There has to be a way for it to start and a way for it to end.
Well, there isn't one for the next trilogy yet. It's just a pitch that he said, "Oh, I want to do this for that." I was like, "Go."
That's amazing. Like, go do it. Go make your own trilogy because guess what?
Here's a whole bunch of money, and we'll see where it goes.
Because why the fuck do we want like the next trilogy is not gonna have to do with any Skywalker. It's not gonna do with any of that.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be fucking dope. I don't care I love these characters, but I'm okay with them going away.
I guess for me, it's...
Let them go.
I guess for me...
Let them go.
Let them go. It's kind of like, I hate bringing back Indiana Jones again, but it's kind of like, remember when, it's not Temple of Doom, it's Last Crusade, where that chick, the one who betrays Indy, everyone betrays Indy, but she's like trying to grab.
Everybody betray me. I'm fed up with this world. Yeah.
I guess we both can agree The Room's a better movie
than Indiana Jones.
No, than Last Jedi.
They're close.
They're close.
But like, I'm one of the few that actually thinks The Room's a good movie. Like it's hilarious. It's amazing. Like The Room's an amazing movie. But I think The Last Jedi is a really good movie.
I think it's a good intention movie. Let me clarify that. I think it's a good movie with a lot of flaws.
I see.
I think there's a lot of good ideas.
I see more good than bad in this movie. Like there's flaws.
I'm kind of like here. Like what's your rating for The Last Jedi? Like what would you give it out of a 10?
Like 7.5. Like a good 7.5.
Like when I first was sitting down, I was like, this is like a 3. It's like a 3. And then of course afterwards,
that's just your inner Kylo.
Yeah, my inner Kylo. And right now, like I'm like 6.7.
I think for you with another rewatch, it might go up.
Yeah, it's like 6.9.
It's
I won't give it a 7. I'm not gonna give it a 7.
I think to me it's better than The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens for me is a 6.
Force Awakens
for me,
was
it's an average, movie. It's better than the prequels. I've already decided like that anything that Disney's gonna make is never, and I never was hoping that it would do that. I'm never gonna get a reimagination or something completely close to what I saw with the original three films.
You know what I liked the most about this movie?
What?
Is that it gave me something fresh.
Yeah.
It gave me something new. And unlike most people, a lot of that shit hit with me. Like, I liked it. Like, it was fucking cool. Yeah. And you go into a Star Wars movie, and after seeing the fucking Force Awakens, I thought I was going to see fucking Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
And when I walked out of there, I was like, okay, that was fucking good. That was different. They gave me. I wasn't expecting a single fucking thing that happened in this movie.
Yeah,
which is fucking great.
Yeah, like I'm actually. I would have been more upset if this was a remake of Empire Strikes Back. I would have been a lot more upset. I think it's just. I was hoping. It's kind of like when someone tells you, like, okay, I'm giving you 3 movies to like get ready to like move on from these characters. Hold on, no. We're gonna do it in the second movie. Get ready. I was like, oh shit.
But who told you they're giving you 3 movies to?
Well, because you're seeing the cast members. You're seeing like Luke's coming back, and well, we already know that Carrie Fisher passed away, so she won't be in the next episode.
Yeah, but you see Han go. In the first one, you see someone else go in this one, and you see someone else go in another. It's like
no. But I'm saying before watching Last Jedi, at first I was like, maybe they're gonna kill Luke. Hopefully they don't, but I think they're gonna kill Luke. And if they do, I guess it's just time to move on.
It is it's like we had a trilogy about Luke.
Yeah.
Why do we need another trilogy about Luke? We got one movie that is about 30% about Luke. Yeah. And it was perfect send off. It was a perfect send off for Luke. But that's it.
Yeah.
We don't need another Luke trilogy.
Yeah. Like for me, like I'm gonna buy. I'll definitely buy Last Jedi, and I'll probably buy.
Great, I liked it.
I'll buy the next one that comes about afterwards.
I don't own The Force Awakens. I would buy this movie before I ever buy The Force Awakens.
I buy them because I'm a big Star Wars fan. But for me, like once Episode 9 hits, I think for me personally, and it's not because whether or not the movie's gonna be good or bad. I don't know anything. It's just it's time for me to like to finish. Kind of like with.
Yeah,
Toy
but
Story.
Like
with Toy Story 3, like they're gonna make more Toy Story movies, but the third installment it was made as a way of saying like, hey, people of you who grew up with Toy Story, it's time to grow up and move away from go on to bigger, better things, and keep these things cherished. If you want to watch the next one, great, but if you want this to be the end,
I think like once you see the them finishing this trilogy. I think you have even more reason to stick around for the next stuff that has nothing to do with your... Because there'll be brand new movies that don't have your characters.
Yeah, like I might watch them, but I don't think I'm going to be as excited or even intend to like buy them.
Well, you don't even know until you see the first one and see how good it is.
No, because it's kind of be like literally like...
to me, this seems, again, like you're deciding before you see something how you're going to feel about it. Because to me, it's like... Let's say I dislike this movie, and then the next one it's pretty good, and then all of a sudden they're done, and now we have a new trilogy that takes place in the Star Wars universe with characters we've never seen.
Yeah.
And I already prejudged this that it's gonna be this. I'm gonna go in there with a certain fucking state of mind that's gonna make me not enjoy it.
It's funny because, and I had this argument with a friend of mine, saying
you don't have friends, you fucking liar. He paid me.
Yeah,
he paid me to be here.
No, I had this argument with another friend of mine. It's like I think you just walked into this movie expecting to hate it.
Yeah.
And this will sound contradictory, but with other franchises, I'd say go for something different, go for something new. Even with the James Bond franchise, when they did Skyfall, that was a deconstruction of the spy genre. Yeah. And this is a deconstruction of the whole Star Wars mythos. So when they did it for James Bond, which I also love, I was more okay with it. But here, I guess I'm even more protective of this because it's something that I've been watching since I was like 7 years old.
The difference with James Bond is that James Bond has always changed. James Bond always had different interpretations.
Yeah, it's true. And it's always changed with times, whereas with Star Wars, it's always been very rigid to the same story. There's the good, there's the bad, there's a lightsaber duel.
Yeah.
There's always the same type of things.
And dude, I love that this movie got shaken and turned upside
What
down.
the fuck? So it's time to wrap this up. Anyway,
I don't know who the fuck watches this channel.
Apparently nobody. No, I'm bad. Please watch, subscribe.
You're tearing me apart, YouTube. Yeah. So wrapping it up.
Again, I'm still like in the middle. I don't hate or. Anyway, to wrap up, I'm still kind of in the middle. I don't hate.
People are people.
People are people, yeah, and everyone has their opinion.
Yeah.
So, like, if your opinion is that you hate this movie, it fucking ruined everything for you, then so be it. You're entitled to your own opinion.
Yeah.
Just the same way there are people who love the movie. If they love it, let them love it. That's how life is. If everyone likes the same thing, it would be fucking boring.
But if everybody loved each other, the world would be a better place. A better place to live.
There you go.
No, I understand what you mean. Like, if you don't like the way it's going, your original trilogy will always be there.
They'll always be there.
I feel like a lot of people just don't like change. They don't like change when it comes to the characters that they're so fond of. They don't like change.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like change, but you gotta accept it. It's part of storytelling. You know, if I hate being like a broken record, but change is necessary in order to progress a story, in order to create surprises, in order to create things that you. Because keep in mind, even when Empire Strikes Back came out, it was considered something new. Mm-hmm. It was considered something new because it did something completely different to A New Hope, and A New Hope did something completely different to any other film, fantasy movie that existed at the time. And now they're kind of considered old stories because they've been used over and over again. Keep in mind that even A New Hope is just a retread of the typical story that you see in a 3-act structure of a character who's sent on an adventure. Yeah. And he can't return back home. He has to keep going forward. So this is actually something completely different and new that I think is going in a good direction. Do I wish that they had done some things differently, more to how I had envisioned in my mind? Sure. But I'm not a writer. I'm not a director. I'm nobody, and neither are you. This is Disney's point of view. Let them do what they have to do. If you don't want to pay to watch the next Star Wars movie, don't pay to watch it.
Yeah, you don't.
One thing that I hate is
to.
hypocrisy, and I see this all the time. I see fans. I see it in school. People who, because I'm going to school for film.
Because he's a substitute teacher.
Yeah, now I'm a student for. I'm going to school for film. I see people who hated The Force Awakens, and they're back to watch The Last Jedi, and they're saying, I'm not going to watch another Star Wars movie, even though they said the same thing about The Force Awakens.
But
make up your fucking mind.
People are not going to stop watching them. I'm sorry to say this. Like,
I'm just saying. Like,
people will watch it for a different reason. Like, you don't watch it because you enjoy it anymore. Now you're watching because you're going to hate on it. And you need to know what it is.
But I think that's worse. Because that's not setting straight on what you promise. If you're going to promise me...
That's also watching it with a fucking mentality already. I fucking used to always shit on Twilight.
Yeah.
And I watched it to say, if I'm going to shit on this movie, I need to see what the fuck this movie is.
You saw all of them?
I saw only the first one because it's fucking... I didn't expect it to be...
I saw the second one.
I didn't expect it to be over 2 hours long.
Not by choice.
And I didn't know what I got into, and it was fucking horrible. But I stopped making fun of it after that. Even though I was making fun of it before I saw it, I stopped making fun of it. It was fucking garbage movie. Yeah. But it's like, whatever. I'm not mad about it anymore. It's fucking terrible. Let it go.
It's kind of like the fans who watch the Transformers movies. Everybody knows that they're not great movies. They're shitty blockbuster movies. But I see the same people who complain about, Michael Bay is doing the same shit all over again with Optimus Prime and bringing in Marky Mark as his character and whatever.
I think I found myself a Transformer.
But even the people who complain about them, they keep coming back for another one.
Yeah, and like, to me, it's like, just be glad that
you're getting another Star Wars movie.
Yeah, and be glad that they're...
But we can both agree that the next Star Wars movie is going to be garbage.
Not me.
Solo.
Oh,
That's
Solo. Yeah.
That
Solo.
poster is the black with the yellow letters, Solo.
Yeah, like, I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to watch all of them. But everything points out to that not being a very good movie. But I'm really glad that these new movies they're better than the prequels. People
Yeah,
hated the prequels, and I disliked the prequels. I thought they were.
I don't hate the prequels.
Yeah,
like,
I don't hate them either.
Yeah.
But I don't like
I don't
them
like-
because fucking I think the Phantom Menace is okay. Like
Yeah.
not okay, but it's there.
Yeah,
I think Attack of the Clones is that the name of the second one?
Yeah, Attack of the Clones.
It's fucking garbage.
That was terrible.
And
yeah.
then
That was really boring.
And then Revenge of the Sith is okay.
Now that you mentioned Attack of the Clones, that scene in it's called Candlelight.
Yeah.
That whole sequence kind of reminds me of the diner sequence in Attack of the Clones, where Obi-Wan comes in to see this old friend of his who's a CGI character. That's why I didn't like it. 'Cause it reminds me a little too much of the prequels.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, like just that's one other comparison I would do with the prequels. I don't hate the prequels. There's good things in the prequels, and there's a lot of bad things. It's kind of how I feel with The Last Jedi, where I do think it's better than all the three prequels. It still falls into the same category of like there's things that I like, but there's a lot of things that I hate. Like for example, Phantom Menace. I love the Duel of the Fates. I like the pod racing scene, but I hate seeing Anakin saying, "I'm a person," or seeing like this flying character that looks like a Jew.
Yeah.
The like we don't accept the Republic credits.
Yeah, the guy from Romania, the alien from Romania. Yeah, but it's like
the Jedi mind trick don't work on me.
being the guy who makes the newest Star Wars movie is like being the president. No matter what the president does, a good majority of the country will hate the president.
Yeah, there's people
for
who are gonna love it,
reason.
there's people gonna hate.
So
and
it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
I enjoyed this movie a lot. I think they're going ways that it's progressing the universe. It's fucking it's universe building and it's fucking great.
Yeah, and it's funny because I come across a lot of either articles or reviews that I've read after seeing the movie, and it baffles me because, again, I think this is an average movie. I think it's good. I don't think it's bad. But people are going on saying this is the worst movie ever made.
And
Trust me, I've seen a lot of bad movies, especially this year. There were a lot of bad movies. Want me to mention 5 movies that were really, really bad? I'll mention them right now. Transformers, last night was terrible. There's no surprise there. Flatliners was terrible. The Resident Evil movie was terrible. Jigsaw was pretty bad too.
The Boogeyman, no.
Bye Bye Man, that was awful. Oh
Bye
my
Bye
god. But anyway, those are really, really bad movies. This is actually a very well-made movie. That's great special effects. There's good acting. There's certain storylines that I don't like, but I think there's other good parts in the movie that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So this is not the worst movie ever made. So whoever says that, you really get a reality check and watch some other bad movie. I think most people who say
watching Seminoid.
Oh my god, Seminoid. People don't know about that movie. It's a really, really bad movie. It's a knockoff of Alien.
Yeah, I think the movie's enjoyable. Like, stop wanting everything to be the same forever. Like, you need to accept change. We all do, and we need to go with the ideas they're giving us because, at least to me, I think they're putting great. Like, if the powers of the Force never evolve, then why the fuck are we watching these movies?
Right, yeah. Things need to change. And the other thing, I honestly do believe that in about 5, maybe even 10 years from now, this movie's going to be looked at in a different light.
I think so too, because
I think people are going to have a better appreciation for it.
Yeah, once there's something more for them to hate.
Yeah, because it happened with the prequels. I remember when the prequels came out, initially, a lot of people enjoyed Phantom Menace, and then people started hating on it. And now that we have Last Jedi, we have people saying, "Oh, George Lucas, we forgive you. We love the prequel trilogy."
It's just who it is. Like I said earlier, the president, whoever's the new president, they always miss the older.
Now,
one, so
it's always like that. And people, to clarify, why do critics and fans disagree? I'll tell you why. Because fans are complaining about things that they cannot let go of. Like myself, that we can't let go of these characters that we love. And complain about things that didn't go the way they were expecting it to go. And critics, mind you, know more about screenwriting than you do.
And they see it as a movie.
And
it's without... If you've never seen these characters, this is a fucking good movie. It's a good movie, but... You just don't like the direction they went with your fucking love. The characters
you know what
love.
Critics are paying attention to?
A movie.
They're paying attention to a movie. They're paying attention to the following things: set designing, acting, story structure, character arc, motivation. All these things fall into the category of a well-made movie.
Yeah.
Does a character have a reason to go on this exact journey? Is there a reason to redeem this character? All these things are part of a good storytelling.
And I think all the characters had a good arc. Even if you say Rey doesn't, I think Rey has an arc.
Yeah, that's the only one I don't agree with because I still see her. There's one thing that I'll tell you before to wrap up really quickly. People say that she's a Mary Sue. I don't think she's a Mary Sue because Mary Sue meaning that she can do anything and everything without anybody teaching her anything. If you look at Force Awakens, there's a scene where she's defending herself with that stick pretty well. She can fight. She has fought her whole life.
Yes.
So I don't think she's a Mary Sue. However, if you look at her in Force Awakens and I was going to say Return of the Jedi, I don't know why, Last Jedi, she's still very much the same person. With certain little bit of changes, but she still doesn't have a complete arc, unlike Kylo, who does have...
Kylo has a better arc, but yeah. I feel like she does, because she has this idea of what the Force and the Jedi is going to be, and it gets turned upside down, and she learns that just like her whole fucking life is up to her. Yeah. It's up to fucking her to bring this up and to fucking lead the way she wants things to go. Right. Like, Luke wants the Jedi to end, Kylo wants the Jedi to end, but she still believes in it. Yeah. And because of that, there's hope, and there's something that she's actually realized that now it's all up to her.
Now, people complain that this movie's a feminist agenda. I disagree with you.
It's like, did people complain that all the movies since the fucking beginning of time were fucking male movies?
Yeah, I know. Like... I've even seen.
Come the fuck on.
I even saw a professor of mine, and I'm just gonna put it out here, and I'm gonna mention this. He's probably gonna see this.
You should send him the link.
I'll send you the link.
If you sit through this 2 hours, then
I don't think so because he never watches anything I send anyway. But
because he hates you like the rest of us.
No, it's fine. No, but he was saying that the whole movie is about men learning from women, and I really don't see it that way. I really very much see this movie as, okay, certain people make mistakes and they learn from it or they don't. Yeah. Kylo does not learn. He wants to be himself. He wants to be this evil motherfucker. And it just so happens that Poe learned a lesson from a woman. I don't like, my point of view is, I don't like too far to the extreme of being like, oh, a woman is the one who's helping you. And I don't like completely to the part where a woman is useless, like Night of the Living Dead, where Barbara is completely useless character, like a damsel in distress. I want something in the middle. I like equality, and I think this movie does a good job in terms of equality. Yeah, whoever's seeing this movie in terms of, oh, it's a feminist movie, and they even said it for Force Awakens because of Rey being the Jedi, because everyone wanted Finn to be the Jedi. Get a fucking life. It's a freaking movie.
Yeah, but then they're also fucking now wanting to watch fucking The Force Awakens because he was black. So it's like the world is all sorts of fucked up, and at least now to this day, a lot of people are realizing certain things. Like, yeah, we fucking had treated women like shit in all these movies, right? And it's time to it's not just the fucking feminist agenda. Mm-hmm. It's fucking. Like, all these people that are directors in charge now are people that are our age, people that fucking see things the way we do, and it's like, okay.
Now, let me tell you something. This is completely unrelated to Last Jedi, but in respects to women, get ready to see a lot of movies directed by women and stories about women, and I'm completely okay with that. And why I'm telling you to be prepared is because there's a lot of great stories to be told by women. Yeah. I'm honestly tired of seeing the same macho story. And I'm a guy, and I love my Rambos, and I love my Indiana Jones movies, but I'm completely okay with seeing a woman kick butt. That's why I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was a great story where she's not a damsel in distress. She's literally a woman who is...
And it also comes down to not accepting change from the characters they love, because, dude, watch Tarantino movies. Yeah. The girl, like, Kill Bill, 1 and 2... Jackie Brown, like, he makes fucking strong female leads. The Inglourious Bastards, the girl that burns down the theater, like, he makes those fucking female leads, and there's a lot of other people, a lot of horror movies do the same shit. Like, even though in a lot of them they could be the silly, like, damsel in distress, but a lot of horror movies are female-led fucking movies. Fucking Ripley from Alien and blah, blah, blah. And it's like...
But still, to this day, you see people complaining about it. Whenever they see a little change, they hate it. And I think with time, what I would tell, which is the same thing I say with every movie, Give it the test of time. There's a lot of movies that were hated when they first came out. Perfect example, Empire Strikes Back. People didn't like it when it first came out.
Yeah,
now people love it.
That's why I keep telling you, you need to watch this movie again.
I will watch it again. I'm still waiting for the right moment to go back and watch it.
Yeah, take your time.
I'm taking my time. But again, the reason why I dislike it is very different to what other people disliked. Because everyone has their different reasons why they didn't like it. They didn't like it either because of their supposed feminist agenda or social justice warrior agenda, or because they went a completely different route. My thing is more about, hey, I have to kind of let go of Luke and Leia and Han. They're old. It's time to pass the baton to someone else.
Yeah.
I know what someone's gonna say. Weren't you expecting that to happen? Is yeah, but you're kind of in a state of denial because you love watching the characters you grew up with on the big screen. And I wasn't lucky enough, like other people who grew up in the 70s, to watch these movies up in the big screen. I saw these movies at home.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, to wrap up, do I recommend The Last Jedi? Yes, watch it. I think if you set aside all expectations and just watch this as a movie, and just for literally for 2.5 hours, forget the fact that you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, holding on to your toys, oh my god,
well, at least this is what I do when I watch any movie.
Yeah.
My mind turns off and I just fall into the story that they're telling me.
Yeah.
I don't stop to think, wait, Leia never did that. Wait, all of those thoughts come when I walk out.
Yeah, one thing that I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to stop watching trailers for any Star Wars movie, because
I didn't I was actually forced to watch that trailer because of a podcast I'm on, and we were going to talk about it, blah blah blah. So I watched the trailer, but it was out for 2-3 months and I didn't watch it.
Yeah, no, I made the mistake of watching the trailers. Well, I saw the first 2 trailers. I saw the teaser in the first trailer. I didn't see the other ones that came about it. But I've noticed that most of the times that I don't watch a trailer, I enjoy the heck of a movie. I saw not too long ago, Manchester by the Sea. I did not know anything about the movie. I just heard that it was well written, that it was one of the best movies of last year, 2016, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And then I watched the trailer. I was like, thank God I did not watch this trailer, because it literally shows you beat for beat what's happening. Sometimes I actually want to get late to the movie theater so I don't watch a lot of these trailers. Yeah. So, but yes, whoever says this is a terrible movie, get your head out of your ass. Yeah. Literally, get your head out of your ass. This is a good movie. It's not bad. Just because it didn't go the route you were expecting does not mean it's a bad movie.
Yep.
It happens a lot of times, and it's just part of storytelling. It needs to evolve and needs to change. Mm-hmm. So
Kylo said it best.
Yeah, let the past go. Kill it if you have to.
Yeah.
Right. It's they literally feed it over and over again. People still don't get it.
No.
They say let the past.
Like you walking out of that movie.
Yeah. Even when Yoda talks,
you just can't let go.
You just can't let go. Yeah. It's funny because people have told me that I'm contradictory. This battery's gonna die.
Yeah, just finish it real quick.
Yeah. And people say that I'm contradictory because I said the same thing. I say I'm contradictory because I will say let's move on forward with other franchises, not with Star Wars. But anyway, this was our take on Star Wars: The Last Jedi. You give it a what rating?
7.5. I say go watch it before getting anyone's opinion. Form your own opinion.
Form your own opinion. Don't watch reviews until you finish watching the movie, and form your own opinion.
Yes.
If you like it, so be it. Don't let anyone tell you different.
Yeah.
Don't follow the bandwagon of people with the hate just because you want to be cool.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say I fucking like this movie.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And if you feel like me, where you're in the middle, that you don't like it, you don't hate it, that's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I'm a movie master. This is Milky. Check out his channel, Dropping Loads. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below.
He's in it.
I'm in it. I do skits there. For anybody who's saying I haven't done videos in a long time, I do a lot of videos on his channel. But I'll be doing more videos soon, so stick around.
Yeah, Dropping Loads. Check it out.